That's awesome. And so you have already started like working with your first clients and everything, which is so amazing. Like, would you have any advice to people who are starting out? Maybe they're thinking about getting into this and they're not sure yet, or they're just at that starting stage. Anything that you would say that's really worked for you or you would recommend to them?
Yeah, so I was actually really nervous for that stage of actually prospecting and getting clients. And I just didn't know what that looked like because I work in the corporate environment. You apply to a job and then all your work is, provided to you. And so I was very nervous for that aspect.
Yeah.
But so one thing I do have to say that the prospecting videos and tips and assignments that you provided us every week was really helpful because I didn't even imagine that those were ways that you could prospect. And so it got ideas flowing for me. It made me feel more comfortable. But the biggest tip that I would have is really just to put yourself out there and give it your all. It can be intimidating, but I've just found that if this is what you love doing and it feels in alignment for you and you're putting yourself out there, it it may surprise you in a really good way. And so just being brave enough to put yourself out there is the biggest tip, and just go for it, because until you have like the opportunities to actually write and to see what that's like, that's when you really find out if this is something that you do really enjoy, and it is authentic to you, or if you want to go in a different direction. So
Yeah, that's so good. So true, because you almost, it like just even getting the experience, like you said, of working with different clients or even different industries or like types of content, like you'll find ones that totally feel like they're not a match. And then other ones, just because it's a little tweak to a style or client or just dynamic, you're like, oh no, that is my sweet spot. But it almost takes that action of just trying. And same with even the prospecting activities. That's why I like to share a lot of them, because some are going to feel more true for you. Like it's good to try all of them because you might surprise yourself, but you will probably find that sweet spot of like, oh, okay, this is the one that I like, and this is what I'll build my business off of. And I think you're so right about just putting yourself out there, because almost just the act of doing that, you can be prospecting in all the ways you want to, but if you're just continually like talking to people or letting them know about that you're a copywriter, you'd be surprised sometimes, like brands are always looking for writers. So the fact that they just know in the back of their head, maybe 3 months from now, they're like, I know who we're going to call. So it's like all builds for good, even if it's in the beginning, kind of you're getting the process going, I think.
yeah, agreed.
What would you say is like one of your biggest takeaways? And it might be that, like what we just said, but is there anything else that you would say from the program is one of your biggest takeaways or learnings?
Yeah, I think that my biggest takeaway is to embrace your style. And what I mean by that is like your writing style. Because I remember, during one of the weeks kind of talking about how it can be easy to like get in this mindset of thinking that there's so many freelance copywriters, and there's you get into this kind of like competitive mindset maybe. And when you stop and you take a step back and you realize that like, well, you have a unique style yourself, and really getting in tune with that and embracing it and offering that, because that will either be like a really, really great match with someone else. And that's what will allow you to like gain the business and have those experiences. Or maybe it's not a good match, but then that's probably for the best, right? And so
Right.
but I think it's easy to like get in your head. But I would just say like embrace your style and whatever that may be, and have fun with it, because otherwise, you might not enjoy it. So
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love that. And I'll say, even for you, like part of your style is, yes, the writing, but even just how your dynamic is with clients and how you interact with people. And like for Kristen, she's so responsive and she's so professional, and everything comes back just feeling like it's so put together. So I think even remembering and almost just reflecting back to you that like you have a writing style and you have a voice and maybe a type of client that, you know, you'll love working with. But even as people are developing a brand, thinking about it's also who you are and how you interact with people. And that can be part of your brand and your success too, because it's so amazing to just work with someone that's like that, that's so can do, that's so just like responsive and communicative. So just remembering that is like you're building all of that and all of your personalities kind of working to your advantage, not even just like the skill set itself almost.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.